Today we're doing a 7-round, 32-team NFL mock draft, and this time I will be drafting as the AFC North, going pick by pick, giving you analysis. We're using the mock draft simulator. It's not perfect. Some teams, it will draft too many players at the same position, but the position wells will dry up round by round, and we will have to make decisions. Before we dig in, though, you need to click that subscribe button. Right now, we're looking at mock drafts every day. We're looking at these players, where they're getting selected, scouting reports, and everything else. Click that button. Stop missing out. We're going to get you ready for the 2025 NFL draft here. But here's the board. We're getting ready to start drafting. 7 rounds is a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot for one team, let alone 4. We're going to get this started. And again, I'm going to start off with the Browns. Cam Ward comes off the board. Odds are here, from what we're seeing in the news, it's going to be Travis Hunter. I'm going to roll with that. I feel like that's the pick. And I agree with Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, either one, honestly. I like them both. I think they're top talents. Shedeur, I understand if you're feeling solid with it, if you are the Browns, if you're feeling solid. But honestly, Travis Hunter, if you look at that wide receiver depth chart, you can throw him in on defense. You can throw him in the slot. You can throw him all over the place there. He does not have to get all the reps because you got 2 other wide receivers. I think that's a good fit, and we can make it work later. We brought in Flacco. Giants come in and get Abdul Carter. Patriots are up. Jahdae Barron. There's their sneaky pick right now. Mason Graham going to the Jags. That's almost locked down to happen. Ashton, Jeanty to the Raiders. Not horrible. Will Campbell to the Jets. Solid offensive tackle value there. I think he'd go to the Patriots better here. T-Mac to the Panthers. Jiad Campbell to the Saints. Tyler Warren to the Bears. I've looked at that a lot of times. That would be a good upgrade for them. Armin, Missouri to the Niners. Williams to the Cowboys. Will Johnson, hell of a talent, going to the Dolphins. I'm up with the Bengals. Let's recap some picks. Mike Green going to the Falcons. And Jalen Walker right here. Falcons, Cardinals. Studs. Shamar Stewart to the Colts. Will Johnson going to the Dolphins. You got to make this move. This is a top 10 talent. This is a big-time talent right here. Michael Williams going to the Cowboys. And I bet they do a defensive pick here that nobody's mock drafting. I bet they do. Armin to the Niners. Athletic beast. I expect him to go offensive tackle unless something falls to him. That's nasty. Tyler Warren. I've looked at this many a times for the Bears when doing these mock drafts, and I think this would be a good upgrade at the tight end spot for them. And I think this would be a good fit, and I think this is a talent where they can make that reach for and make that pick. And the thing is, they have 3 picks in rounds 1 and 2, and they can go luxury in one of the sexy spots. This would be a sexy spot for them. But Ashton, Jeanty's off the board going to the Raiders. They got an offensive line built for that. They can ride him out. You got a coaching staff that wants to win now. You got Geno there. You need running backs. We saw how bad that was last year. There's a lot of talk going to the Raiders. I feel like he's going to be a Raider. T-Mac going to the Panthers. You're getting Bryce Young, that big body down there to throw it up to. That's not horrible. That's not horrible. That's a good fit considering what else you got there. You got good speed at wide receiver. And you got a wide receiver now that's going to work with that speed, getting downfield, contested catches. When I'm talking about good speed, I'm talking about Xavier Legette. I'm talking about Adam Thielen, not about his speed, but you can break off routes. You just got a good tandem of wide receivers there that could gel together. Jiad Campbell is a nasty talent, but I'm up with the Bengals. It's my turn. So we got a lot of talent here on the board. I can go multiple different directions. Position and needs per PFF: guard, defensive line, linebacker. On top of that, you do not want to be so married to the positions of need when you're looking at these mock drafts that you ignore talent coming down the board. Contracts come up years in advance. These guys need to develop. You get a top 10 talent looking at you. You got to make that pick sometimes. Whether you need them or not, or you trade back, but we're not trading back today. Top 10 talents: Stark, Simmons. Those are the guys I'm really looking at. Luther Burden's top tier when it comes to wide receiver. He's like the next guy off the board, him and Emeka Egbuka. And we're looking at defensive line: Walter Nolan, James Pierce. Those are some damn good talents right there that can help out this team. A lot of good talent here that we can roll up on and feel good. I feel like I can get defensive line and linebacker in the second round. Pretty good with the Bengals. I got Starks looking at me right in the face. And guard is something I can patch up rounds 2, 3, 4. And there's not a drop-off in talent. There's one guard I would take in this area, and that's Booker. But I can wait and might get him. And I'm looking here at Malachi Starks. I think this is a talent that I'm not going to see every day at me. I'm going to hit that button for the Bengals. I'm going to hit that button for him. Next to Seattle, Matthew Golden. Getting speed at wide receiver. Bucks, Kenneth Grant, Michigan defensive lineman. I like him a lot. I thought about him for the Bengals. I thought about him. But I wanted that top 10 talent. Mika Igbukwe, wide receiver for the Broncos. I think he fits well with Bo Nix. And I think it's time here. I think it's time to do the dirty. We're going quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is there. What else you going to do here, Steelers? What else you going to do? You're going to get Aaron Rodgers? What else you going to do? If he falls to you, you're going to make that pick. This is like the right range for him anyways. Maybe you have to trade up a few spots to make sure you get him. Get rid of some other picks. But what else you going to do? What else you really going to do at the quarterback position? And you guys are so good to where you're never going to be like top 3, top 5. Maybe. Now you got a good quarterback here. You got DK Metcalf. You got George Pickens. You can get some other running backs maybe if you want to add to that. Get some top-tier talent. If you want to get sexy, get some sexy players for him. We got a draft here where you can just slam position of needs for him to help him grow. And maybe that's going to be the story of this draft that I do. I don't know yet. But that's what we're doing right now. Right now. Shedeur Sanders to the Steelers. Colston Loveland to the Chargers. Michigan on Michigan love offense with Harbaugh and Colston Loveland right there. I love it. I love it. Tyler Booker comes off the board. That is a first-round caliber guard right there. And Booker's top tier. Like I said a few picks ago, like, there's only one guard that I'm looking in the first round. He's nasty, he's strong, he's big. And if I wait on guard, I'm waiting a few rounds. I'm just waiting a little bit. I like Ratledge. I like him in the interior. But I like him. There's a big drop-off between him and the other guards. Donnie E to the Rams. He's a solid player. Banks Jr. tackle to the Packers. Loveland going to the Chargers. I love that pick. Now we're looking at the Ravens here. We're on the clock. You can do a lot of different things here. I think we got a nasty player looking at us. I have him like top 15, top 12 talent. James Pierce. He'd be wicked with the Ravens. Wicked with the Ravens. With that speed coming off the edge with what they already got. Wicked. I see the Ravens getting a gift where they're at. Josh Simmons to the Detroit Lions. That's a solid player. That's a top 10 talent. Top 10 talent, like I've said. A big body tackle. Gray Zabel. Darius Alexander, defensive lineman from Toledo. I'm back up with the Browns. Nick Scorton going to the Eagles. They're going to get, unless they trade up or trade back, a hell of a talent on the defensive side of the ball to the Eagles. The Chiefs can go luxury with their pick here. That's one thing they could do. Defense or offensive line is going to be there. They're going to get some nasty picks here. 32 and 31. Same thing with the Bills. Gray Zabel's nasty. He was nasty. I'm saying nasty a lot. But he was nasty at the Senior Bowl. Walter Nolan. Huge riser throughout the process. Nasty up the front. He's going to plug things up. Very aggressive, very assertive. I'm back with the Browns. My last pick was Travis Hunter. Second pick off the board. And I got Travis Hunter. I can use him at wide receiver, but Luther Burden fell to me. He can't keep falling. And I'm going to take the talent. Look at what I got at wide receiver anyway right now. Cedric Tillman, Jerry Jeudy. Travis Hunter, I don't want to give him too many snaps, but I want to give him a lot of snaps at wide receiver. Have him play both ways. But I also got Luther Burden with him. And I got Travis Hunter playing both sides of the ball. So you're arguing that. On top of that, like, this is a damn good talent. This is a former 5-star recruit. I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this. Browns are getting sexy. Giants get Derek Harmon. Titans, Nick Emanwari. Huge pickup there. He's steaming up there. TJ Sanders, I've been mocking him a lot. Josh Connerly. I think early second round's the right price tag for him. When he shoots up to the first, I get a little nervous. He was getting bullied around at the Senior Bowl a little bit. I like Tyleik Williams. Fell on his pro day, but he's a big, physical defensive lineman. Now we're looking at the Bears here. Caleb Johnson. PFF started mocking him higher in the rankings. I like him a lot. He's a guy that can grind it between the tackles, take a full workload, and if you're not looking to draft a bunch of backs or have a huge committee, or if you already got a committee set up but you need your bulldozer, your main back, that's your guy. Revel going to the Dolphins, getting another stud cornerback, and you're taking the talent there. Like, there's some talent here at cornerback that's still on the board. Cornerback has fell here. That is one thing to say. Cornerback has fell in this draft, and they took, I believe, Will Johnson with their last pick. You just got to take the talent. Xavier Watts, coming off the board a little bit earlier than expected, but I like him. That's one of my guys. Landon Jackson to the Cowboys. Princely coming off the board to the Colts. Donovan Jackson to the Jets. They're going 2 tackles. Like I said in the start of this, they're going to double up at certain positions for certain teams on the simulator. It's just how it works. I'm back up with the Bengals. Last time I went Malachi Starks. Kevin Winston Jr. is there. He's a riser for PFF, but I've been always drafting him and excited to draft him. Looking at what's there on defensive line, you got Edge from Ohio State. Demetrius Knight is there. The LB2 in the class, you got the LB3 right there. I think I got to pull the trigger. That is it. I like him. I'm in love with him. Jack Sawyer's there. That's a good value. I am going with Demetrius Knight right here for the Bengals. Just loading up for talent, defensive side of the ball. Seattle gets Trey Amos, one of my favorite corners in this class. Edge from Ohio State going to the Broncos. Cam Scatterboo steamed up to the second round here, going to Seattle. They're loaded at running back already. What are they doing? Jaden Higgins going to the Bucks. Higgins, Mike Evans. That's going to be like 2 wide receivers that can really mentor, and Mike Evans mentoring him for the long term. Carson Swissinger going to the Texans. The thing is, that's a value considering you're looking at linebacker. There's a fall off at that, and he's been climbing the rankings throughout the draft process. Like, I like him better than Thomas, who was drafted right ahead of him. He was getting beat a lot at the Senior Bowl. Jared Ivey, edge from Ole Miss. Solid. Jack Sawyer going to the Chargers. That actually seems like a hardball thing to do. Now I'm back at the Ravens. The Ravens. What's a Ravens pick here? What is something the Ravens would do? They would draft my guy Benjamin Morrison. They would draft him. He just seems like a Raven. Adding that defensive back right there seems like a fit. Seems like a player that would fit into that system. Josiah Stewart, edge from Michigan. Darren Porter, one of my corners, going to Washington. My guys are just starting to get drafted higher and higher in these mocks. Trevion Henderson to the Bills. Judkins to the Chiefs. Like I said, the Chiefs are going to pick again here. Going to tackle. Like I said, the Chiefs and Eagles, they're both in spots here to go sexy. Same thing here with the Bills. Like, they're right here in the back of the second round, first round, where the tiers of some of these position groups are dying off, and they're also built. They can go sexy with some of these picks. Trevion Henderson adds speed in the backfield to the Bills. Also, Cook's contract, Quinshon Judkins, he's going to be their back. He's going to be their feature back for a long, long time. He's going to be there for a long, long time. He'd be the most productive running back in this class. Him and Jeanty would be the 2 running backs I would want in fantasy from this draft right here. Milroe to the Giants. Developmental quarterback. No risk here in the early 3rd round. We're looking at a tackle for the Chiefs. I'm up with the Browns now. Looking at what's up, I drafted Hunter. I drafted Burden. And I'm also looking at values here. So I went cornerback, wide receiver. I like Winston Jr. Like I say, I'm always excited to draft him, and I feel like I'm catching him at a good value. However, I've been getting him cheaper in the earlier mocks, so I don't feel like it's that great of a value. And I've had greater values that last round for the Browns, getting Burden. So let's take a look at some other positions. Running back, still very deep. That is something I want to look at here. You look at that running back depth chart, it ain't looking great. You got Sampson, Harvey, Martinez. Harvey, Sampson, Giddens, Martinez. I love that. I like Neal. I feel like I can wait. My next pick isn't until 94. I could probably wait that out. I like Winston, though. Elijah Arroyo, but I got Njoku. Royals is up. Let's see. Ratledge, get you a guard. That's one of my favorite guards in the class. Kennard there, edge. Alfred Collins, defensive line from Texas. A lot of good options. And now, wide receivers, something to look at. We kind of already did it, but still, there's a little bit of talent. Jalen Knoll. If for some reason he's there at my next pick after this one, I might have to do it if I get that value. Because why not? Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not getting too excited. Shamar Turner, defensive lineman. Tackle has been zapped. Offensive tackle is kind of zapped up. Looking at that, I can really just wait a bit. 95, Wyatt Millen's one of my guys. I got Cameron Williams. I can wait a little bit on him. I got 94 and 104. So I can get a running back and a tackle then. I'm getting my guy. I'm getting Winston. Getting my guy. I like him. He's a stud. We're going to build up that backfield. Jackson Dart going to the Raiders, getting a quarterback. Again, it's cheap. It's upside, and you can build with him, develop him. Dylan Sampson going to the Saints. That's a good fit. That's a good fit. Shamar Turner going to the Bears. Marcus Mbow, Purdue tackle to the Jets. I think that's their third tackle. I'll call that out. Kyle Kennard to the Panthers. Josh Farmer, defensive line, Niners. Mason Taylor to the Cowboys. They did that last week. Chris Paul, linebacker, Patriots. Alfred Collins, defensive line, Texas. Now, that was a good value. That was a good value. I look for him to go a little bit earlier than that. Texans usually get value in these mocks. Like, they have to take that, like, it just the rankings, the way it shakes up. So it doesn't not always line up with position of needs or anything. But when I look at Alfred Collins, that's a hell of a value. That's a hell of a value. Now I'm back up with the Bengals. Guard, defensive line, linebacker, Ratledge is there. One of my favorite guards. I'm pulling that trigger. I'm pulling that. I feel like I'm getting a second-round talent in the middle of the third round. Jared Wilson coming off the board. Steelers are on the clock. And remember, we drafted Shedeur Sanders here. So we kind of want to build around him. Positions of need. Running back makes sense. Tackle, though, when you look at tackle, it's not right now. It's not right to make the selection. I can wait a little bit. The talent's not plentiful. Running back, the talent's plentiful. I can wait a little bit, or I can double tap the position. And we're at a spot with this depth chart where we can. Safety is a position of need, and Buka's right there. And there's a drop-off talent level when it comes to safety. I got 5 more picks on the board. Ransom at 93, Mickens, Sinker. After that, we're looking at guys on the back end of our depth chart, and Buka's right there. They got him ranked 62 with a 91.6 ADP. I can go running back at 123 or possibly tackle. Running back definitely at 156. Talent-wise, at safety, it's going to be dropped off a good bit. Tackle will be back up around 156, 123 range. I think that would be a sweeter spot for running back and tackle. We're going in Buka right here and just taking the value. Next up, Bucks on the clock. Jordan Phillips. Next, the Broncos draft Trey Harris. Chargers are rolling. Elijah Roberts. Edge, SMU. Savion Williams, wide receiver, Packers. Vernon Broughton, defensive lineman, Texas. Terrence Ferguson to the Texans. Third round, that's a hell of a value. I look at him as like a second round caliber tight end. Had good production at Oregon. Yards per route ran 9 last year, but solid hands. Clutch. Allow him to develop over the long term, and he'll be an upgrade, especially athleticism-wise. He'll give you something over the seam. Cameron Williams tackle to the Rams. He slipped, and he's going in the third round. I think that's a great value for anybody that gets him. Ravens. James Pierce, Benjamin Morrison, and honestly, we're just taking the values that come to us. Players that are falling to us. We're just scooping all that value. There's a lot of value here on the board that we could look at. A lot of players. We're looking at edge, defensive back, guard. Guard's a weird position this year. Let's look at interior offensive line. McLaughlin, Willie Lampkin's one of my dudes. You can kind of wait a little bit on some of these guys. You can kind of wait. Kyle Williams is there, somebody you can put in the slot. Wyatt Millen's one of my guys, though, at tackle. He's one of my guys, and we're into the thick of the third round, almost to the fourth round. This is one of my guys. I would not be surprised if he gets drafted earlier than this. I've liked him throughout the process. He's going to the Ravens. Meat and potatoes pick here. Just taking the value. DJ Giddens coming off the board to Seattle. Jalen Royals to the Saints. Browns back on the clock here. Late third round. Nets pick is 104. And I believe we were looking running back with our last pick. Running back, wide receiver, tackle. Let's take a look at offensive tackle real quick. Some talent zapped up here at tackle. Tackle's done. We can get starters at running back, though. We can get multiple starters. I like RJ Harvey. Come on down. That can be a starter for the long term. Chiefs are up. David Walker. Jalen Noel. And that's a twitch-up wide receiver. That's a good get by the Eagles. I can definitely see him tearing it up with the Eagles. Dorian Strong is one of my cornerbacks. Damian Martinez to the Giants. I could definitely see them going running back in this draft, even though they got Tyrone, even though they got one. Devin Neal to the Rams in the third round. Like, why not when you're looking at the player pools right now? When you're looking at the player pools and you're looking at what's available, you're looking at running back, and that is one where you can get starter-level talent right now, helping your team, even though you're good. I mean, as your third running back, competing to be your second running back right now, and then when contracts come up, you got leverage, even though you know they're going to sign Kyron Williams. But macro sense, for a lot of these teams, I could see that happening. We're back up with the Browns here, and we're having a sexy draft. RJ Harvey coming off the board, and we're trying to build for Shedeur Sanders. I think we need to go tackle here. Charles Grant, William and Mary. Fourth round. Just get him on the roster. Get him competing. Sebastian Castro is one of my safeties. Tez Johnson going to the Patriots. Harold Fannin. Solid get for the Jaguars. Isaiah Bond, wide receiver. Huge upside there for the fourth round. Huge upside. But however, the news has not been great. Kobe Bryant, cornerback I like. Riley Leonard to the Jets. Upside quarterback play. Jacob Parrish. I like him too at corner. I like him earlier in this. Rucker, edge to the Niners. Jonas Sanker to the Panthers. Dolphins up. Pegas goes to the Dolphins. Edge from UCLA to the Colts. Now I'm up with the Cincinnati Bengals. And my selections so far, taking these values, have been Malachi Starks, Demetrius Knight, Tate Ratledge. And honestly, we are taking the values with these picks. Taking the values here. And we got 3 potential long-term starters here. That's a good draft. Everything else, we just got to take what comes to us. RJ Mickens is there. However, we already went safety. He's not close to the same talent level as a Malachi Starks. I like Kyle Williams a lot. I like him a lot. He's a twitched up wide receiver that you can throw in the slot. That'd be a good mix. We can't throw much more capital at wide receiver. A fourth rounder could do it though. Seth McLaughlin's right there. That's a hell of a value. Talent and value. That's something we could roll. Just going for the interior. Just getting more bodies there. I think Kyle Williams is value. I think he's twitched up. I think he will be great in the slot. Cheap get for that. Let's do it. Titans are up. Gunnar Helm coming off the board in the fourth round. Noel Williams, cornerback Cal. Jamari Caldwell to the Broncos. I'm up with the Steelers. So again, remember, we're building for Shedeur Sanders on top of taking value here. We took Mbuka, and that was a hell of value for that pick. Looking at what's on the board, we were looking at tackle, and we were looking at running back. And Jaden Blue, Trevor Etienne, we had a running back run, so we may have to wait. Where's the tackles at? Jalen Rivers. We got some talent there that I like. Running back took a big hit. We had a big run here at the running back position. There's still some dudes here that we could roll with. There's still some dudes. I think we go Jalen Rivers. We make that pick for the Steelers. Our next pick is 156. So maybe a running back's there. We don't want to pay up when there's still talent on the board. There's other talents I like too that's deeper down the list of PFF. I could double tap the position and still be good. Ravens got a lot of picks left. Like, they're trading up. They're trading up somewhere down the line. Look how many picks I got left. Like, I'm drafting a ton in the back end of this draft with this team. A ton. Look at this. And we're looking good right now with the Ravens. So, I already went safety, right? I have not went safety. Mickens is there. That seems like a selection they would make. They could go like a Will Howard for a backup quarterback. I don't think that's a smart move. Barrett Carter's there. That's an interesting pick. You got Willie Lampkin there. And our next pick's 136. I might be looking Lampkin for that pick. Maybe, maybe not. Let's hit Mickens up for the Ravens. Seems like a Raven-esque player. Just adding more talent. Barrett Carter right off the board. Right off the board. They heard me talking. Jaden Blue to the Saints. Another running back, more speed. Riley Mills to the Chiefs. Eagles comes off the board with a tackle. Dolphins, Will Howard. Ravens, ready to rock and roll here. Back on the clock. And now, Seth McLaughlin coming off the board to the Ravens. Just getting that talent. Just taking talent. That's what the Ravens do. That's what they do. Jones to Seattle. Lampkin to the Niners. Basil Tootin to the Vikings. Lunt to the Panthers. Kaiser to the Titans. Jags. Urasek, tight end. That's a big get for them. Zay Alexander, cornerback. Raiders. We're just going to go through this a little quicker here. Since 5th, 6th, 7th round. Bears are going to have a sexy draft this year. Getting a running back. Getting a running back. Nasty one that can grind it out. Dolphins. Luke Kandra. Guard. Hunter. Hunter is a sleeper running back for Auburn. That's a sleeper. That is a sleeper coming at you. So we're looking at what's available. We went wide receiver last pick because that was a tremendous value, and he's twitched up. I believe he's got some upside. There's some other players to look at here that we go after. And we went Malachi Starks in the first round. I don't think that matters anymore. So I'm going to just look around for players I like as well. Simeon Barrow sticks out. Malachi Moore, DJ Kobe King is a player I like. That's at 171. My next pick is 193. 193. So if I wanted him, I better get him now. Cody Simon. So now when I'm looking at this, more where we're at for the values, Jonathan Hancock. We already went safety. That's not really smart considering I paid up for a safety. Keep going down. Ty Robinson. Simeon Barrow. Ty Robinson, Simeon Barrow. Going Simeon Barrow right here. From the U to the Bengals. Giants are up. Again, Huzzy, cornerback from North Carolina. I like him a lot. I think that's a good value. I'm up now with the Steelers. Remember, we're building for Shedeur like I've been saying. Let's go straight to the running back position. I'm using my running back rankings that I can remember in my head. These are the backs I like. These are the backs I like right here in a row. These three. Those are the ones I like a lot. I can wait a bit. I'm going to wait to 185 and 229. Like, for real. For real, for real. I'm going to wait a bit. What I have so far off the board is a tackle, safety. Looking here. Wide receiver, zapped up. Malachi Moore. I like Malachi Moore. I like Kobe King. I like both those guys. I'm going to get Malachi Moore. I like him a lot. We're going to get that for the Steelers. It's the 5th round. He can work on the back end of the depth chart. And I'm going to find good talent here with their next pick at running back. I bet you I find you a good talent here. Cheap. And that might be me working the simulator because I've done this so much. But it's probably going to happen. Trevor Etienne to the Jets. They draft too many running backs in these sims. Joyner, edge, Eagles. Nick Nash, Eagles. Tight end. That's second tight end in this draft for the Texans. We are in the 5th round, but I don't see them doubling up there. Cody Simon, I like him a lot. I like him a lot at this value. Bills, Denzel Burke. I like drafting Denzel Burke. And I draft him usually later in this. I think he's climbing the ranks, and PFF might be watching these videos. Tyler Cooper, guard. Stutzman. I like him. I think that's a value right there. I think that's too much of a value. Quinn Ewers to Seattle as a developmental prospect. Ravens are up. Ravens are up. Guard, edge, DB is what they got. I have not attacked guard really, but I got McLaughlin. I've attacked DB pretty hard. I got edge pretty hard. I can really go sexy here. I can really go nasty. I got Ty Robinson. I looked at him that last pick for defensive line. Hancock's right there. I've already attacked the defensive backfield. Very good. Logan Brown's there. That's a good value. But I've already attacked offensive line. I think Ty Robinson just sounds smart. Just sounds smart, so I'm not overloaded on positions. Just diversify. Get some good camp bodies in. Now I'm up with the Browns. Travis Hunter, Luther Burden, Kevin Winston, RJ Harvey, Charles Grant. I got a lot of picks in the 6th round with the Browns. A lot of picks in the 6th round. I'm smashing Logan Brown right now because that's a value. I'm just going to take it. I'm going to take the values here for the Browns because I might get some starters due to that. And guys that I like. But still, Ravens are up. I've attacked the defensive backfield a lot. Just coming down here. Something I like. Looking for something I like. I like Kyle Monaghan. I like him a lot. I think he'd be a good fit for this team. Emory Jones. Emory Jones, come on down. Should I make this? I already drafted tackle, though, didn't I? Coming down. Brady Cook. Emory Jones. Make sure I did not draft like. I draft 1 tackle as 3rd round. This is more for camp body sake, but talent that could just climb the depth chart if things happen. Kyle McCord, Saints. Back up with the Steelers. Steelers, remember what I said? This is when we're going running back. And I said we're going to find the values. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Raheem Rocket Sanders. I'm going to get your big back right now. I'm getting you Ollie Gordon. I'm getting you Ollie Gordon right now for the Steelers. And he's the best back on your roster right now. He's the best running back on your roster. Best back on your roster. He's going to grind it out for you guys. That is the best back you guys got right now. Believe it or not, that is your best back. Got another guy going to the Colts. Browns are up. Just want to look at what I've done. I've done safety. I've done tackle twice in a row. I think that's okay considering where we're at. I do not like what's there at wide receiver. You know what, though? You know what? You know what? Nope, not right now. What are we going to do here? Keep looking. I'm looking for guys I know. I'm looking for guys I know. Let's see, I already attacked safety. Jordan Hancock's right there. I've drafted already 1 safety, though, and that was in the 3rd round. But it is the 6th round. I don't think it matters much. I don't think it matters that much at all. Tim Smith. Tim Smith, come on down. You can always use more defensive linemen. Coming down. Bengals are now up. Guard, wide receiver, defensive line. This is our last pick of the draft. So what could we do here? Have we went safety yet? We did with our first pick. Going down a little more. I like Hemingway a lot. Jack Nelson, get a tackle from Wisconsin. Add to that offensive line. When in doubt. When in doubt. When you're looking at late picks, just get some camp bodies in there. The better camp bodies, the better. Waiting for our next one. Browns coming up with pick 200. We got RJ Harvey at running back, Jerome Ford, and I believe going running back again might be a smart move. Another running back I like, Woody Marks, going to the Browns. Going to the Browns. There we go. There we go. Locked and loaded there. Ravens are up next. I'm on the clock. I think I've went safety too much here with this team. I went Mickens. Hancock's right there. Coming down a little bit more. Let's rock and roll it. You know what? When in doubt, when in Rome, get your running back when you're this late. Got a lot of picks here. Rocket Sanders, boom. That season at Arkansas, put him on the map. Taj Brooks going to the Cowboys. Jalen Smith, cornerback to Washington. So reason why is I'm getting a developmental prospect just in case we move on from Henry sooner than later. Just in case. And he's back there. And he's proven to be productive in the SEC. And I can't just sit here and watch this happen too long. I like Hancock. I'm just going to pull the trigger. It's the 6th round. I got a lot of picks. I can't body. But still, that's a hell of a can't body. Now I'm back on the clock. Some players here. We're just going to go down to something I like. Gadsden. Andre Gadsden. This is a NFL talent that should be drafted higher than the 6th round. He will be drafted higher than the 6th round. Ricky White's coming off the board. He's better than a 6th round prospect. LaQuint Allen's one of my guys going to the Raiders. Now we're looking at the Browns. Browns are up here. Just looking at the talent. We're just going to scroll down a bit. Jay Higgins. One of my favorite linebackers in the class, honestly, when it comes to day 3. I'm looking at him for day 3 for a lot of these teams. That's a talent you need to go after. I think that's a hell of a value for the Browns. For anybody. For him just sitting there. I think that's a hell of a value. Just scrolling there, looking for somebody I know that should not be there. And I saw that quick and I had to hit that button. That's one thing you need to do when you're in the later rounds is just look for those talents that you have graded a mid-round pick and just take talent over need. Talent over situation is what you need to be looking at. Steelers are up. This is my idea. This is my idea. Jimmy Horn, LeJohntay Wester, Will Shepherd. Who we taking? Horn, Wester. Horn, Wester. Horn or Wester. They're going Horn. Pairing him up with Shedeur. I like Wester too. That's the thing. That's why I did that. But that's to get Shedeur some continuity. Get him something he's familiar with. Wester might be a UDFA here. We'll probably go after him as well. Get him something he's familiar with. Luke Lashley, Lachey coming off the board. McKay coming off the board from North Carolina State. I don't have many picks left, I believe, because we're in the 7th round. I believe I got some Ravens picks up. And let's see what we can get here. Will Shepherd going to the Texans. It's a late pick. You just take the talent there. I'm up. I got 1 pick left. What would I do if I'm the Ravens and I got my last pick? You know what? LeJohntay Wester right there going to the Ravens. Going to the Ravens. Have him in the slot. Good route runner. Productive with 2 different collegiate programs. If you're getting him in the 7th round, maybe you can fight up your depth chart. Maybe be a camp body. Theo Weiss going to the Cowboys. I know it's 7th round, but still a wasted pick. Still a wasted pick there. Kyron Lacey, Hunter Wooler, Ethan Downs. Browns are coming up. This is their final pick. They had a great draft. They had a great draft. I wouldn't be surprised if a team goes through running backs. I want to see what's left. Donovan Edwards is there. Phil Maffa. I mean, there's some sleepers there. Going down. Just going looking for names that I like. That one name that I like that's just still there. Just looking for it. There's names that I know. All of them. A lot of them. Because I do these mock drafts a lot. A name that I like that's just chilling. Shiloh Sanders. No. Just looking for a name. Donovan Edwards. Cooper Mays. Julian Fleming. We're getting deep here. Moose Muhammad. Nash Jones, Arian Smith, Jack Conley. Nasty guard. Getting a nasty guard. Let him fight for a spot. Let him fight for a spot. That's what I'm doing. There we go. There we go. We just completed another 7-round mock draft. Let me know what you think about how your team did. Sometimes the simulator messes it up, but there you go. Let me know what you think in comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.